Hi there, I'm going to do a quick review on a Dayun Zig Z1 Pro, if that is how I pronounce it correctly. I'm going to be showing the miner quickly, some of the software, some of the really interesting customizations that you can do on it, things that you don't see on typically other miners like Antminer, and then some real life results of hash rate, profitabilities, etc. Now here's the miner. You will see it's in a box. You can watch my other video. The link would be in the description of what I did to silence the miner so that I can use it inside the house. But for now, I've got it in a garage, and here's the miner. See, it's got two 6-inch fan. It uses a standard Bitmain 1600 power supply, except that you will need some power splitters that I have for this miner. So it's got obviously the power supply and the network port. So let's plug it in, see what it does. Well, not much. You'll notice that it's a bit loud, not as loud as a typical Antminer, and the fans also runs at a fixed speed. Let's close this up, and you'll see already just by closing the box, there will be a reduction in noise. There you go. As I said, you can watch my other video where I've done quite a bit of interesting things to show you how you can actually silence this miner. And let's go and look at the software. Now let's have a look at the software of this miner. So I need to know what the IP address is, which normally you can find on your router. I've already looked up this one, so I know what it is. The username and password is admin and admin. That's the default. When I sign in, I'll go through a couple of interesting things about this miner. I switched it on about 5 minutes ago. It takes probably about 2 or 3 minutes for it to get going. Let's start off with a couple of things. You'll see it's a Z1 Pro, currently hashing at that rate. It shows the core temperature and the chip temperatures. I've currently got it in a hot garage, so it's actually running relatively hot. I've seen these as low as 35 degrees Celsius going up to like 48 degrees Celsius. See the frequency and what the hash rate is. Now that's quite interesting compared to some of the other miners where you just have a number, you don't really know what it is hashing with each of the boards in real time. And here you can actually see it, and you have a refresh rate that you can set. You'll see the difficulty that you're mining and where you're mining. I've set it up for nice hash just because that's easy. It shows me what my pool is, and then it gives me some history of what the mining rate is. And I'll show you a little bit later a couple of screen captures of what this miner can do. So if I go to the dashboard, that is all these different things. I can look at the charts, which is actually for a daily and a monthly charge. I've been playing with this a bit, mining 2-3 hours a day, and even with those low hours achieve quite incredible hash rate. If we go to the settings, now it starts getting interesting. Here is the refresh rate. Now here you need to be careful because the page will automatically refresh in that period of time. If you set this number too low, you might run into a situation where you cannot configure the miner because the page automatically refreshes. So while you're busy doing the settings, keep it on a high number until you've set everything. You can set Celsius, Fahrenheit, your pool configuration. Like I said, I use nice hash just because it's easy for now. You can configure the frequency of the miner. I've played with it between 600 and 700, and depending on the environment that you're running it, you might want to run it at a lower speed. Set a couple of, most of this you won't need to touch, and interesting, it actually shows you all the configuration. Okay, so let's look and let's try and set that. I've done all my settings. I go and I set it on 30 seconds. Go save. And save and restart. Now you can sort of see the restart process of the miner. You'll see it's offline, and it will not have a hash rate normally. Here you can see the automatic restart time, and that's what I said, the timer will automatically refresh the page. And if you're trying to do settings while it's refreshing, it won't work. So automatically the page will reload, and we'll see that in 9 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 1 second. So now it's run through 30 seconds and is not hashing yet. If I go to the logs, I will actually see that it's starting to look at, here it's looking for a new block. It's sending new information to the miner. Now as it runs through the sequence, you will actually see how it's getting more information and then eventually sending it to the miner to mine. I can refresh the page and then force it to reset, but especially in the beginning it doesn't help because it's still busy getting everything ready. You can see it does like a trial block the first time, it sets everything up, and then it starts mining. So normally it's about 2 minutes before the miner actually starts mining. Okay, so see again, it automatically refreshed. I can play with it, I can mess with it. Still, we're under the 2 minutes, so it's not really mining yet. If I'm going to the log, you see it's still busy initializing all the boards. And now is the time when it will actually very, very soon start mining. It shows me it's online. I can go back to my speed. Again, it's still 0 because it just started up. And now it will probably start to do the mining and to increase the speed gradually. Now, interesting, as I said, the speed of the miner is not constant. You know, many other miners probably just shows you that there is constant, but it's just an average. The nice thing of this miner is you can actually see its speed. Every time it refreshes, it will actually show you the speed, which is really, really nice to know what's going on. Now we can see I just started and I'm on 1.7. See, that board is hashing that is not hashing, that is the speed, and you can see it. And already you can see it shows the graph. Obviously there I restarted it and it will show you the speed. Really, really nice graph, nice information. I've clocked it once I got it up to 60 gigahash per second. So I think it greatly depends on the shares that it gets accepted, on the difficulty, and I think the temperature does have something to do with it as well. Like I said, I'm running it in a hot environment, so obviously it's not too great for the miner to mine at high speed. But even in a high temperature, you can see, I mean, there we're clocking 10 gigahash per second. So it's refreshing again, and now it's 12. And frequently I get in the 20s. I'll give you some screen captures of what I recorded in the past. There we can see another one, very nice, 15.88 gigahash per second. Now this miner is rated at 13 gigahertz per second, but I think that is really to do with the average, whereas you can achieve a lot more. And I even saw in the profitability, especially to do with your difficulty and actual hash rate, that sometimes you can get some really amazing profitability. I had at some stage just close to $7 a day profitability on this miner. Now obviously that's got to do with your difficulty that you're mining, which coin you are mining, what is the group hash rate of that coin, and what is the value of the coin. And all of that you need to really investigate. I was really impressed with how nice this miner works and the amount of information that you can see and knowing exactly what's happening in your miner. So let me show you some screen captures of the interesting results that I have found. So here are some of the screen captures. I've not edited anything. I'll show you exactly what I got in the order whichever I recorded them. You can see 15.4, very nice hash rate. The low temperature there, like I said, I was running it in an air-conditioned room. And again, you can see which boards are doing what. There I actually showed you a nice history graph of all the different points, and you can see at this stage there was even 17 gigahash per second. Next one, 14.95, also at a nice low temperature, and I was even running it at a lower speed, lower frequency, 675. Next one, there's your 17.36, and you can see a lot of them really nice high speeds. Another one, 15.43, still low temperature, 675. Look at that, 19.29 gigahash per second. And that's even with a higher difficulty, which is interesting to see. And there you can see there are a couple of boards that's running really nice. There you can see 19.29. Look at that beautiful speed. 21.7 gigahash per second. Again, nice and cool. The difficulty is much lower, so it sort of makes sense that at this stage you would be mining coins like crazy. Next one, 21.13. Isn't that beautiful? 23.15. Still nice and low temperatures. Like I said, it was nice and cool. Running at 700 hertz, and then we can see the difficulty is relatively good. 27 at 7,000 difficulty. This was quite an amazing result, even with a lower frequency. So it shows you that it's not always that the higher frequency will get you the higher rate. Like I said, it looks to me a lot like it's to do with the difficulty and how the pool actually sends the shares. There's a nice 23.15. And there you can see, just to make sure we've given a balanced view, it's not running in that speed the whole time. Sometimes when the network is running very well, I took these values while I was at a hotel, so obviously the internet speed was not that great. You can see that it's up and down. It's not at that speed the whole time, and I don't want to give you the idea that it is. There's another 19.29, even at 650 megahertz, and with a relatively high difficulty. Here's another one, 19.29, yay! And there again, look at this time now. The average of this is running nice and high. Maybe the network was better. Okay, it was 10 o'clock at night, so clearly the hotel network was not as busy, and you can see how nice, stable speeds we got. So another one, 17.42 at 650, even with it running at a slightly higher temperature. Boy, oh boy, now you can see 20.91 at a difficulty 6,380, and just at 650 frequency. Ooh, that looks like the same one, sorry. There you can see nicely, even, oh boy, I did the screen capture of that point while it was displaying. I got it afterwards, but look at that, 27.88. Woo, we are almost printing money. There to give you a bit of an idea of profitability from nice hash directly screen capture. You can see at that specific stage, and like I said, you need to look at the cost of your electricity, you need to look at the speed of the miner, you need to look at the difficulty, etc. But just to show you at this stage, $4.85. Here's another one, $5.23. Obviously the price of Bitcoin and the coin that you mine also has an influence on these values. It's another one, $3.53. Here is from MinerStat, just to give you an idea where it actually calculates with the electricity cost of, at that stage, $5.13 estimated daily profit. So another one, 21.21 gigahash. Yay! Isn't that gorgeous? 22.63. So another one, $5.64. And like I said, I want to give you a balanced view. Make sure you do your research on it. I was very impressed with how well this miner works, the configuration that I can do with it. It's really fun to play with. It's another, at that stage, it was doing $4.73. Now, obviously, if your electricity cost is lower, then you will make a higher profit. 22.63 and $4.24. Isn't that amazing? Now I want to go back to my miner and let's have a look at how we're running now. It's refreshing again, and now we're sitting on 10.58 gigahertz. Like I say, it's not a really well-known miner, but I was really impressed with how you can configure it, how easy it works. The configuration settings is so clear, it's not difficult to set, and I can really play around with it nice. Thank you very much for watching.